1:14 a.m. Arctic waters under the ice. The world above slept, but beneath the frozen Arctic at a depth few machines could reach, the U.S. Navy Ohio-class ballistic missile submarine USS Nebraska SSBN 739 drifted silently through the black water. Its mission was simple: remain undetected, remain ready, never fire first. On board were 24 Trident II D5 nuclear missiles, enough to alter the planet in minutes. The crew knew their presence wasn't aggression, it was deterrence. But deterrence only works when no one threatens it. Tonight, someone did. 1:19 a.m. The first signal. The sonar operator sat quietly, headphones pressed tightly against his ears. Everything was normal. Just the soft hum of water, then a faint tone, then another. Not natural, not random. A pattern. A machine. He isolated the frequency, ran a quick filter, and then froze. The computer classified the signature Russian Torpedo, possible VA-111 Shkval-class. His voice came low, steady, controlled. Sonar, possible incoming torpedo, bearing 094, tracking. The silence that followed felt colder than the Arctic around them. 1:20 a.m. Condition 1 alert. An alarm didn't ring. Ballistic submarines don't broadcast panic. Instead, quiet controlled steps began. Crew moved with urgency but precision. Hatches sealed. Weapons controls armed. Navigation shifted to defensive maneuvering. In the control room, the captain stood motionless, absorbing every detail. A torpedo in these waters wasn't common. It was deliberate. The Ohio-class submarine was no ordinary target. It was strategic infrastructure. Attacking one wasn't just aggression, it was an act of war. 1:22 a.m. Sonar confirmation. The weapon closed distance fast. Too fast for traditional torpedoes. Even advanced NATO passive sensors struggled to track its acceleration. The AI-enhanced sonar system reclassified it. Supercavitating torpedo detected. Likely Russian Shkval variant. That meant no random firing, no accidental launch, no misidentification. Someone pulled that trigger on purpose. 01:24 a.m. The question everyone thought. The executive officer finally spoke. Is it armed? The sonar operator replied, unknown, but trajectory is interception, meaning if the torpedo continued, it would hit them. 1:27 a.m. U.S. counter decision. The Ohio-class submarine wasn't designed for torpedo duels. Its purpose was strategic nuclear deterrence, not submarine combat, but it wasn't defenseless. A quiet order was issued. Deploy acoustic decoys, pattern Bravo. Small countermeasure pods launched, emitting false signatures to confuse tracking systems. The Shkval continued forward, not fooled, not redirected, still closing. 1:31 a.m. A second signature appears. Then, another sound. Not a torpedo, something larger, something deeper. Another submarine. Sonar locked on. Identification appeared. Russian Yasen-class attack submarine. The control room felt heavier, like pressure wasn't just outside the hull, but inside. A Russian sub firing a torpedo at an Ohio-class ballistic submarine wasn't a message. It was a provocation of the highest order. 1:33 a.m. U.S. Strategic Command. Alerted encrypted data pulses shot through undersea communication systems. Within seconds, alerts reached U.S. Strategic Command, the Pentagon NORAD White House watch officers. The situation was marked. Strategic threat, undersea interception. If the torpedo struck and a nuclear submarine was lost, the world would change instantly. 1:36 a.m. The torpedo slows. Then something unexpected happened. The torpedo slowed, not because of countermeasures, not because it lost tracking. It slowed intentionally, as if waiting, like a predator evaluating prey. The crew watched the sonar screen in disbelief. The captain whispered, "This isn't an attack, it's a test." 01:38 a.m. Russian transmission. For the first time, the Yasen-class submarine transmitted a signal. Not voice, not Morse, but a coded burst, short and unmistakable. Translation: we see you. Another followed. We can reach you. And finally, we choose restraint. Today, the torpedo altered course, curving away from the submarine. Its engine pulsed once, and then silence. 1:41 a.m. The withdrawal. The Yasen-class submarine turned. Slow, deliberate, unhurried. Like it wanted the Americans to watch it leave. Like it wanted them to remember. The sonar operator confirmed. Russian contact withdrawing. No further weapons detected. The Ohio-class submarine remained still, listening, ensuring the threat was gone. Minutes passed. Then the control room received the final coded update from U.S. Strategic Command. Stand by. Do not surface, do not engage. Continue patrol. Incident logged. 1:55 a.m. Post-threat silence. The Arctic Ocean returned to stillness, but inside the submarine, the weight of what happened remained. A weapon had been fired. A message had been delivered. A line, one no nation ever wanted crossed, had just been tested. The Russian torpedo didn't strike, but its purpose wasn't destruction. It was a signal, a chilling reminder. Submarines may stay hidden, but power never forgets where it waits. 02:06 a.m. Arctic waters. The ocean was quiet again. But silence in submarine warfare is never peace. It's calculation. Inside the USS Nebraska, the crew waited, watching their screens, listening to every vibration of the hull, every faint echo through the Arctic water. The Russian torpedo was gone. The Russian submarine had withdrawn, but no one believed the encounter was over. The captain finally broke the silence. Reset tracking. Expand radius. The game isn't finished. 2:12 a.m., the second contact. Moments later, the sonar operator stiffened. Another signature appeared. Not fast like the torpedo, not predatory like the Yasen-class submarine. Slow, steady, massive. The computer processed the acoustic fingerprint. Result, Delta IV-class, Russian ballistic missile submarine. A second strategic nuclear submarine had entered operational range. The message was now unmistakable. Russia wasn't operating alone. This was coordinated. 2:14 a.m. Pentagon response. Thousands of miles away, screens lit up across a secure network. 3 words appeared on classified monitors. Strategic mirroring detected. It meant Russia was matching U.S. posture, deploying a nuclear submarine near a U.S. nuclear submarine. A senior U.S. naval strategist exhaled sharply. They're not just signaling capability, they're signaling parity. 2:19 a.m. Warning or trap. Inside the USS Nebraska, analysts debated, was the torpedo a warning shot or was it a fire control test? Verifying the ability to track and intercept an Ohio-class submarine. Either answer carried consequences. Either answer changed the balance. The executive officer leaned close to the captain. If they can target an Ohio-class, deterrence shifts. The captain nodded slowly, which is why they wanted us to see it. 02:26 a.m. Unexpected transmission. Then, something unexpected happened. The Delta IV submarine transmitted a short encrypted burst. This time, U.S. decryption systems recognized the format. Cold War-era emergency naval protocol. One phrase emerged, "Do not escalate." Another followed, "Not authorized engagement." It wasn't a Russian threat, it was a warning. From a Russian crew. 2:31 a.m. Interpretation. Inside the Pentagon, intelligence officers exchanged confused looks. Why would a Russian ballistic submarine warn the United States? Why send the message in an outdated format, one only legacy operators would recognize? A theory formed, one no one wanted to speak aloud. Maybe the first torpedo wasn't officially ordered. Maybe it wasn't strategic. Maybe it was a rogue test. Or worse, a command misalignment. 2:36 a.m. The third signal. Before analysis could finalize, sonar detected something else. A faint ping. Not Russian, not American. Different, unknown. A pattern, repeating, almost like a countdown. The operator called out, "Unknown acoustic signature. Bearing 182, approaching." The tension snapped back. 02:38 a.m. Visual emergence. Nothing was visible on screens, but they could hear it. A mechanical hum. Smooth, controlled, unnatural. Then, sonar finally formed an outline. Small, streamlined, high-speed propulsion, no recognizable hull geometry. It wasn't a submarine. It was an autonomous underwater drone, advanced military grade. But from which nation? Russia already deployed one submarine. So who controlled this? And why was it heading directly toward the USS Nebraska? 2:40 a.m. Defensive protocol. The captain did not hesitate. Deploy countermeasures, prepare evasive maneuver. Acoustic decoys launched. The submarine tilted, banking into deeper, colder water. The drone adjusted instantly, matching speed and trajectory. This was no simple reconnaissance device. It was tracking intentionally and perfectly. 2:44 a.m. The intercept. Suddenly, the drone stopped, just outside collision range. A pulse transmitted, short, encrypted. The decryption system processed it. This time, translation came quickly. Test complete. Then, you were found. And finally, the most chilling line. Next time, no warning. With that, the drone turned and accelerated away at a speed beyond known Western or Russian underwater propulsion limits. Within seconds, it vanished from sonar. 2:56 a.m. Stand down order. The Russian Delta IV submarine submarine sent one final message: "We did not authorize," and then it too began withdrawing. The American ballistic submarine remained still, listening, confirming emptiness. Then, the final encrypted directive arrived from U.S. Strategic Command: maintain patrol, no surface, incident classified. The Ohio-class submarine slowly resumed course, not as a hunter, not as a target, but as a reminder of what stability used to mean. 03:12 a.m. Aftermath. Hours later, intelligence analysts built the final assessment. A Russian submarine fired a torpedo. Russia may not have sanctioned the launch. An unidentified underwater platform intervened. The U.S. submarine's location, once undetectable, was compromised. And the most serious conclusion: a new underwater warfare capability exists, and neither nation controls it. The torpedo never struck. No submarine surfaced. No final confrontation occurred. But the meaning was clear. The ocean is no longer a battlefield between nations. Something else is entering the depths, watching, testing, waiting. And next time, there may not be a warning,